everybody, welcome back to Conscious Conversation with me, Chrissy J. Today's video is going to be about a lot of things. And we have Silas joining us, my son, who is 1 year old, because he doesn't want to do anything but sit on mommy's lap, so don't mind him. So first I just want to explain what's been going on the past month or so, and just where I'm at right now, because I think it's important for everybody to be able to understand who it is that's behind this channel, if you're going to be watching it. So basically, I just turned 23 in December, and right now I have 5 kids full-time, and then I have a stepson that comes every other weekend. I just had my fifth child in November, so that's kind of been, consuming a lot of time, obviously, when I've got a baby that's 1 year old and then I've got a newborn. So I haven't really had the energy or time to make any videos, but things are starting to settle back down now. He was born on the 20th of November, so he's about a month and a half old now. So I'm going to be trying to get back into doing videos. I'm not going to make promises that it'll be every week like I have in the past, because obviously that doesn't work out all the time for me, given my living situation and lifestyle. So, but I'm going to do my best. So, and I think that's what's most important. So that's that. I'm going to be working on, being more consistent now that things are settling down more. I do have an amazing fiance who's very helpful with all the kids, but regardless, I'm 23 years old and he's 21 years old, and we have 6 kids under 6. So as you can imagine, our lives are freaking crazy. And that's just the truth of it. So it's kind of hard to fit anything else in, but I do feel really drawn to be doing this channel and talking to others and teaching, so that's what I'm trying to do. Anyways, I just think I should give you guys just like I want to give you an example of a day in my life so you can understand like what I have going on that I'm trying to do all of this on top of. So, let's say, for example, my newborn baby already got sick. We all got sick and had just like a cough and sore throat and everything. And it was right during Christmas, so like the doctor's office wasn't open. And it was he had had it for about 3 to 4 days before I finally got to take him into the doctor. On the day I decided to take him to the doctor, it's raining in the winter, so how does that even make sense? And so I had to take him in the pouring rain into the doctor. And I had already been feeling like resistant towards taking him because I had done the research and saw that when they have RSV, there's not really much that they can do for them unless they're losing oxygen or have it very severe. They don't even use breathing treatments anymore at this point, because it's been proven apparently that they have more bad side effects than anything good. At the same time as having a newborn, my 1 year old is a late bloomer with teeth and just started teething right as soon as the same week that we brought our newborn home. And so he's been having, okay, I'm just going to warn you right now, this is going to get gross. I'm a mom of a bunch of babies, so my life is gross, and if you can't handle me talking about it, this is probably not the place for you to be, because I've just decided I'm done, with the formalities and trying to be like prim and proper or anything like that. I'm just going to be real with you guys, because I think that there's some value to that. So, the same morning I'm trying to take him to the doctor, when I first wake up, I should have started here at the beginning of the story. My 1 year old, because of his teething, has been having what I would what I coin as poop soup. So it's like super runny poop, so bad that it runs out of his diaper. And so since my other baby was born, have been basically getting spit up on, pooped on, thrown up on because people are sick. All of it. So this morning that I need to take my new baby into the doctor, my 1-year-old had literally like had explosive poop all over in his bed. And so I have to get up and clean that up, and then I gotta take my newborn and rush him to the doctor in the rain because the opening was shortly from the time that I called. And then even as I'm sitting here trying to tell you this, my camera battery is dying. Like, if it's not one thing, it's another for me, because there's so many things that I have to keep track of that it's like impossible. You know, my to-do list at the end of the day is never complete. It's always ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. So, you know. But the point of the story was I didn't even want to take him in because I had felt that they weren't going to do anything about it. But I got paranoid because there was multiple people being very concerned about his cough, family members that had heard it, and he had had a rough night, so I just felt like I just wanted them to be able to help him. And I take him in, and they tell me that he's basically at the peak of the sickness, and it's only going to get better from here, and there's nothing they can do, and everything that I've been doing to help him was the best that I could be doing for him, and just keep doing what I'm doing. So it was all for nothing to go in, basically. And, you know, this is just like an example of a typical morning for me, typical kind of day for me. So, you know, it's hard to fit in things for me, things that I want to do, because I keep 5 to 6 people alive every day, you know. So I just want you guys to understand that that's like my life, and that is the reason that I'm gonna have problems sometimes with always getting videos up when I want to, but just know that I'm gonna be doing my best. And so I think that that can bring us into the next topic that I want to talk about, which is failure. I know I talked about this some in the last video, but it's kind of like a recurring theme in my life right now, and something I'm still like embracing and learning about, so I'm going to talk about it some more. And I'm going to use my YouTube channel as an example. So the only difference between someone who's successful in anything and somebody who is a failure is actually continuing to try whenever things don't work out, continue to go back to the drawing board, continuing to find another way, versus just being like, it didn't work, I guess I suck. So I really like the quote that says the only difference between you and the expert is that the expert has failed more times than you've even tried. That's really true. Like, the only difference between all these people who are successful in what you want to do and you is that whenever things got tough, they didn't give up. They kept trying again, and they kept trying again, and they didn't use it as an excuse to say, I'm done, I can't do this. Nobody's going to get it right the first time. Nobody's going to be an expert on the first try. That's very rare, and it takes practice, and it takes trying again and again before you master it. Being successful means seeing failure as a blessing, because it means you've figured out one more way that it doesn't work, and you're one step closer to figuring out which way it will work. So I feel like that rings really true for me as far as this channel goes. You know, it hasn't went the way that I wanted it to necessarily, but like I said, I've got a really busy life, and no matter what, I'm going to keep trying because it feels like it's something I'm supposed to be doing, and I want it bad enough that I'm going to make it work, if that means sitting with a baby monitor in my pocket to hear my newborn inside, and with a Rugrat baby gate beside me for my 1-year-old to sit in when he starts squirming and getting off my lap, you know, while the rest of my kids are at school. Like, I'm going to do what it takes, and I'm not going to make excuses and use my life as an excuse to not continue trying it. Sure, it might be a reason that I'm not going to be as consistent as I'd like to be, but I do feel like with time that I will figure that out and figure out how to work both things together. I've got a good support system. Like I said, I have a fiance who's very helpful. I've got family, my family, his family, they're very supportive of us, so I do feel that if I continue to try and figure out different ways to make this work, that it will work out for me. So, you know, that's going to be the difference between me being a failure at this and me being successful at this. So I think that that's really important to recognize. If you're, you know, struggling with something and you feel like, what's the point in trying? I've messed up a billion times. It's just really important to recognize that that's a blessing, not a bad thing. Which brings me to my next point I wanted to talk about, which is how important it is to start where you are, not where you want to be. So I'm going to talk about this because I've had a problem with this myself, where I'll want to do something, but I'll want it, I'm like kind of like a perfectionist in my mind, so I'll want to have every little piece and detail just right before I start it, which just leads to me ending up never starting it, when if I would have just tried to do one little piece of it at a time and then gradually build up to doing all the things that I want to do with it, then I would have, over the course of time, a month, 2 months, whatever, how much time, built up to where I want it to be, versus when you sit there and you want it to be just perfect, then you never start, and you look back and it's been months and you're still in the same place because you never just took a baby step. So it's really important to like recognize the power in starting where you are right now and not trying to start in the future where you want to be at the end of the journey, because it just doesn't get you anywhere and it just holds you back, and then you feel upset that you haven't accomplished it, and it's just not effective at all. It's a much more effective to take little steps every day, or as often as you can, to work towards the big thing. Just little pieces, bite-sized pieces. But that's really hard for us because we've been programmed to want that instant gratification and to want the end result right now without having to work. But the thing is, we're here for a whole lifetime. We've got a whole life to work on these things. Like, it's going to take work. It's not going to happen overnight. Nothing good that's worth having happens easily. It takes hard work and time. So if you have problems with that, I invite you to try and work on it like I'm trying to. So I just want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I would like to cover here in the near future. That are like, I feel like lessons in this season of life for me. So that's why I'm going to be covering them, because I'm going to be explaining how I'm getting through them and what I'm thinking about them, and hopefully anybody who's going through similar things can take something from it. So some of the things would be stepping into who you're meant to be, not being too scared to step into it, not making excuses for why you aren't meant to do what you feel like you're meant to do, or why you're not good enough to do it, or things like that, because that's something I've struggled with and I'm starting to learn to overcome. And then another thing is learning about your spirit team. So your spirit team is basically like beings in the spirit realm that are helping guide you. There's guardian angels, there's archangels, there's past loved ones for some of us, spirit guides, and it's something new I'm learning about, so I'm just telling you what I've started to learn. I don't really want to make a full video about it until I feel like I've grasped it more, but I started learning about it because I listened to the audiobook Spirited by Rebecca Rosen, which then led me to get a reading from a different psychic medium, Faith Rodriguez. And so I'm learning from her, and I learned some from the book, and I've been furthering my research, so that's something I want to make a video about soon, because the thing is, we all have this spirit team, and basically the main theme that I got from my reading with Faith was that I need to be asking them for help, that they are eager to help me, that they know I've been trying to contact them and not really been hearing back, and that the biggest main thing to start communicating with them is to be asking and inviting them into your life, because we have free will in this realm, so they can't impose on our lives without us inviting them in. So it's a really important thing. So I'm going to make an entire video about all of that. Another big thing that I feel is a lesson for me right now that I want to talk about in another video is recognizing that just because you're responsible for your circumstances does not mean that you aren't amazing for being able to handle them. For a long time I've had people tell me how amazing it is that I have all these kids and manage to take so good care of them every day and do all the things. And I always have, like, when people said that, I always felt like negative and would think, oh, well, it's my own fault. Of course I'm dealing with it. I have to. It's my responsibility. But the thing is, there's a lot of people who don't take care of their kids. There's a lot of people who don't step up to their responsibilities. So just because it's your responsibility doesn't mean that it's not amazing that you're making it through these hard things. So that's something I'm going to make in a video about too. And then the last thing that I wanted to tell you guys about is that I'm going to be having a Q&A pretty soon with the medium that I got my reading from, Faith. And she's just got really great energy, and I think you guys will really enjoy hearing more about things like your spirit team from her, and I guess whatever you guys want to hear about. So the reason I want to tell you about that is because I'd like to get questions from you guys, find out what people want to hear from her specifically. I think in general I'm just going to ask her to give us more information about spirit guides and our spirit team and all that, because I'm just starting to learn about it and I'd like to understand more. And I think that directly from someone who works with them on a daily basis is going to be a really good place to get information. Most of the information that I've gotten is from watching a bunch of interviews and anything I could from Rebecca Rosen after I read her book. And I could tell from my reading with Faith that she's got plenty of knowledge to share with us. And the things that honestly that she told me to do that I've been doing have already started changing my life. So I think that everybody could really learn from her. So I'm very excited to be doing that, and I just want to let you guys know so you can be excited too, and so that you can let me know any questions that you might have from her. So I asked her if we could do it either later this month, like close to the end of January, or beginning of February. So I'll let you guys know for sure when it's going to be. Whenever, you know, when it's going to be the upcoming week, I'll let you know on the video the week before. So these are just some of the things that I'm learning about right now and the lessons I'm going through, and I think it's important for us to share our struggles and what we're going through and our lessons, so that anybody who's going through similar things can kind of learn from us versus having to figure it out for themselves. It's nice whenever there's a path already paved for you, or people who have already went through the trial and error. They can tell you, hey, this is not what worked and this is what did work. So that's why I'm going to be making videos about all of those things, and that's what you can look forward to moving forward from here. So I just want to tell you all thank you for still being here with me. Thank you for being patient and understanding where I'm coming from, and thank you for supporting me and my channel. I appreciate you all very much, and I will see you hopefully next week. Thanks for watching. If you like this video or you feel like it could help somebody, feel free to like and share. If you want to see more content, you can go look at the other videos I have. I upload videos every Friday and occasionally on Tuesdays. Or you can also find me across all these social media platforms at Miss Chrissy J. And thanks again. I'll see you next time.